So I've just been asked a really challenging question. If I had the chance to speak to one tennis coach in the world and pick their brains and speak to them about their methodology, who would it be? And I couldn't pick anyone. And it was actually a really tough question. Great question. And I've been thinking about it for the past hour or so. Like, who would it be? And I don't think I can pick a tennis coach. And that's not to say that I think I can't learn from any other tennis coaches. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, I'm not saying there's nothing I can learn from any tennis coach in the world. I think part one of my answer is I'm lucky that I have access to some really top tennis coaches. And I'm friends with quite a few great tennis coaches. So I can speak to them whenever I want. I can send them a message or jump on a phone call or jump on a Zoom, and I can speak to them if I want to really unpack something tennis-wise. And that's where I thought, like, if I had the opportunity to speak to any coach in the world, it probably wouldn't be in the world of tennis. It will probably be in a different sport. And even then, I'm probably struggling to pick a single person, because especially over the last 4 years, I've really tried to cross-pollinate, probably a word, very fancy word, and look at lots of different sports and spend time listening to lots of different coaches from different backgrounds and different cultures. And I found that really impactful. I think sometimes if you just have a single guru, a single person, one mentor, then you just end up copy and pasting. And I think I've really found my own way of coaching just by stealing bits from lots of other people. But then I was thinking, if I was to answer the question, I probably want to speak to tennis players. I'd want to speak to some players like Alcaraz and just ask, what does his coach, Juan Carlos, what does he do that gets the best out of him, out of the player? Speak to Nadal, and what was it about Uncle Tony that got the best out of him? And I'd want to know from the player's point of view, what makes a great coach? What allowed them to thrive and flourish under certain coaches? And then also try to speak to some players where the relationship hasn't worked. Like, I'd love to speak to Raducanu, because she's had quite a few coaches, and just ask her, like, what worked with certain coaches, what you found worked well and what didn't work well. To me, that's more insightful as a coach. Not to copy a coaching methodology as such, but trying to find what works with players. And like I said before, looking at other sports and cross-pollination of different ideas, and just looking at sort of common traits between the world's best coaches. And I've been lucky. I've got last couple of weeks, if you've been following my Instagram, I've been presenting at conferences. I've been to a conference as well. I've been at Grand Slam, and I've been around lots of coaches recently. And a couple of things that always come out with coaches: it's culture, environment, creating the right culture and creating the right environment for your players to help them thrive, build a connection with players. Again, some of the great coaches I've listened to recently, it's all about the connection with the player. Almost you're part of the player's family. It's much more than almost a working relationship of master and student. It's almost going on the journey together and solving problems together. So I thought that was a really difficult question, really good question that I got given. And yeah, just, I don't think you should have a guru. I don't think you should have a single person. I think it should be a collection of ideas, and you take it and you mold it and then you mold it to your own style. And that's what I do on Coach Ed. Every Coach Ed workshop, I start off with, if something resonates with you today, great. Take it, run with it, but take it back and change it and make it your own. If stuff doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. Don't have to take everything at face value. Mold it yourself, and that's the art of coaching. So yeah, great question. I love questions like that. So if you do have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram at My Tennis Coaching, because I think it's great content as well. Hopefully enjoying these reflection videos. So this is a little bit different. We've got a bit of a theme going on this week, but yeah, tough question. And if I do think of someone from the tennis world that I am not in contact with or speaking to, and I think, you know what, I really like to spend some time with them, I'll let you know. Speak to you soon.